And we are live. Back once again with the Renegade Master. People damager, power to the people. Come on.
I'll just
like a seal. Good morning, everybody. I kind of like those little intros that I like. They seem like they're not being recorded, but they are.
Yeah.
It kind of makes for a more relaxed podcast rather than very serious podcasts.
Yeah, this is day 24 of 28 Lockdown Level Up.
Day 24, day 28.
Go.
Thank you for listening to Conversations with.
It's like an audiobook.
Lockdown Level Up Solutions Saturday. We're so inventive, Danny.
You know what? I'm gonna miss this.
I'm gonna miss it too. It just feels like it's part of life now. And hopefully our listeners are gonna miss us.
Maybe.
We're approaching the end.
You don't know what you got till it's gone. Day 29, they're gonna wake up and be like, "Where are they? Come back, baby."
Banging on my door. Where are you? All right. I'll do another one. Annie.
All right, I'm hopping on the Zoom.
Put the band back together.
It's a reunion.
Cool. So Solutions Saturday. So I came up with this topic because sometimes we can feel like, I think with leveling up, Danny, it's I need to do more, I need to do. But actually, what is it that you're going to do with that? If you're going to try to fix an area of your life, fix is the wrong word. Level up is probably not the right word, but grow within a certain area of life or multi areas of your life. It might be that you're trying to grow or change one thing that's going to impact everything else. Might be that you're looking at a specific area. But how do you go about finding the solution to that problem? And often the bit you start on is not the actual solution, because sometimes you go deeper and you do more. But that kind of, and it's maybe the wrong end of the 28 days that we're talking about this. Maybe should have been done at the start. But I also think it's part of the learning coming out of the 28 days to be reflective for the next 28. So this probably came from my thinking of, we're approaching the end of November. So I start to do my reflection of the month towards the last sort of 4 or 5 days of the month, so that I can impact my plan for the next month. And if I'm going deep on something, right, you get a massive, you're in massive debt problem, huge debt problem, right? And you're almost that image that an advertiser would put out there with all the bills thrown across the desk. The guy sat there with the tie half done, the stress.
And he's frustrated,
almost in tears, dark room, the lights always turned off. Really dramatize the situation. It is a dramatic situation. I've been there. But the question going through that guy's head. The question going through that guy's head is, what the fuck am I going to do?
Yeah.
So, and this is my thing, by the way. This is patented. It's not really patented, but I haven't seen anybody else doing it. I've never been showing it.
It's patent.
Patented, dude. So, I'm going to give this to you for free. I'm not going to charge you, Danny, for this one.
Oh, thank you.
But, and I have a pile of these in my drawer.
What are you pulling out there?
A3 pieces of paper.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And I get
pen to paper.
My Sharpies, and I lay them out on my desk, right? On my table. And on the middle piece, I write that very question. What the fuck am I going to do?
Am I right in saying that before this, there's another step before you get to this point where you cut out the excuses, where you stop the blame game, and then after that you're like, right, what am I going to do?
Oh, you have to be at the place of acceptance of this is on me.
Yeah.
That, you know, that I'm the only person in control, right? There is nobody else flying this plane.
Yeah. So you have to cut out the excuses then and act. That's where accountability comes in too, where you can take responsibility and kind of say, right, there's nothing else that can happen here. I'm going to have to sort this out. And then that's when you pull out your A3 pieces of paper and say, what the fuck am I going to do?
Yeah, and it is that question that puts you in that, I find it puts me in that deep state where I go about, first of all, having thinking time to come up with a plan. You need to give yourself space to do that.
You need to breathe, yeah.
That's a task that doesn't take 5 minutes. That's a task that takes probably 3 or 4 hours at first, and then I add onto it throughout as I go. But you almost have to put yourself in that space of that you're almost like trying to get yourself out of a deep dark hole. You don't always have to be doing it, but you put yourself in that place of if this was the worst it could get, what the fuck would I do? You know,
it's not that easy as well. So like, you know, it's easy to now, if we're not in that position to say, yes, this is what we have to do. At the same time, during that time, the way I deal with it as well, I get very stressy. So as much as I want to say, right, bring out my A3 pieces of paper and try and address it, I'm still going to have my moment of stress first before I get to that point. And like you say, you have to do that first, no matter how long it takes for you to get to that point.
And so this is like, I used to use it, and this sort of analogy with when I was managing salespeople, right? And one of two things will happen from this, but you've been put in a position where somebody's put you, it's the gun to the head situation. You've got 24 hours to find me 1,000 quid or kiss the girl, no, or kill the girl, right?
It's a good ultimatum.
Somebody's got a gun to one of your loved one's head. You've got 24 hours to find 1,000 quid. You would find that grand.
100%.
Right? You would beg, borrow, steal. You would find that money. If I gave you 24 hours to save your job, which would ultimately have implications of you losing your house, and if everything became, if you saw that spiral, right? I lose my job today, I lose my house tomorrow. Not any later. I don't keep it for a month. Blah, blah, blah. If this goes now, you would work harder at your work today.
And it's kind of using that fear to drive you.
And so, yeah, it is using that fear to drive you down the. You wouldn't come up with a solution if I put you in that situation. You wouldn't come up with a solution straight away.
Yeah.
If you watch these debt programs, right? I love a bit of shit TV sometimes.
Is that like Can't Pay, Take It Away?
Can't Pay, Take It Away, yeah.
Oh, I love that show.
But how often do they turn up? I've got no money, mate. I've got nothing. And genuinely, they're like, I don't have any money. Oh, after phoning Dave, his friend, he's found £800 towards his £3,000 debt problem.
Yeah,
hell, mate.
Like you should just do that 2 hours ago.
Yeah, but they've been put in that situation where they're about to get their car clamped or find the solution, and it's almost putting yourself in that state of what the fuck am I going to do? Because quite often there's a solution there.
Yeah.
And there's not the only way to finding solutions. I'm just saying that's one of the things. And I put myself in that place once a month. so that and that's what then creates my planning stage for the next month. I almost make myself look like, and not in a negative way so much, but I look at it as if, right, okay, if this is now the baseline, so we can go again. So I might have moved up, but that's now the minimum. We don't go back.
Yeah.
So if that's now the minimum, we're at 0 again.
That goes for anything as well. Even if you're on a weight loss journey too, don't go back. You just keep moving your benchmark.
And sometimes it's about changing the psychology. So I am again in sales, but I remember one guy telling me he was most motivated at the start of the month because his commission portal said 0. And he didn't want it to say 0 because the day before it maybe said 4 grand.
Oh, to watch that number drop.
And then overnight it goes 0.
Back again.
You've just had everything you worked for. You've run 26.1 miles of the marathon. Back to the start.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on.
What do you mean?
I was 0.1 miles away. Back you go, mate. Off you go. And there's only but that was when he was most motivated. And I these things about when people, for every pound I lose in weight, I'm going to put a pound in a jar. That type of. And that's because it gives you a visual aid of filling something up rather than taking something down.
Yeah.
So there's those little things.
It's a reward thing.
Yeah, because you're visually seeing something filling up rather than because when we think about weight loss, it's as much as we think of it as a positive. When you're looking at a number going down, you're looking at a negative number.
Yeah.
That's a bit more of the psychology.
That's deep, man. I think the key here is if you are scared when you're faced with a problem, is to use that fear to drive you, and to sit back and review your options and see that there's always a solution.
So, thinking of solutions then, Danny.
Everything is doable.
Everything is doable. So if you're coming towards the end of your 28 days.
Yeah.
Right. How is your 28 days gone? Right. So what's worked really well and what's not gone so well? Because we're at day 24.
I think I have obviously woken up at the same time every day. It's a win for me.
Except Thursday.
Yeah, except Thursday.
I'm joking.
Well, I still woke up at the same time, but then I just didn't get out of bed.
And that's because you were feeling unwell, right? That is not
exceptions.
I'm not being critical.
Yeah, exactly. But I think I just formed small habits, and I learned more about myself. So I wouldn't say that I found solutions to anything, but I also found how I found flaws that need to be addressed. I can put it that way. I can kind of call myself out of my bullshit after spending so much time with myself.
So what's not gone so well? Thinking about that initial goal.
On my running.
Right.
So the running didn't go well, obviously, because of my leg and stuff. But brilliant. I could have done more stretching. I could have done more exercises.
No, okay. Your running hasn't gone so well. So what are the solutions that you can put in place for going forward so that you don't lose sight of that goal? It's not gone away, right? Even if you end up back in the gym next week, you don't really want to lose the running.
No.
Yeah. So what are the solutions that you can see to, over the next 4 days, maybe bringing running back?
I could probably, I don't know, because I could probably start with 100 meters. I could probably start with stretching. Could probably start going for long walks. Again, could probably just stop.
What's the
and
root
just,
of the problem that means you're not running?
what do you mean the root? Like the reason?
Yeah.
It's because it hurts.
Right. It's because of the injury.
Yeah.
So what's the solution to that?
I should probably go get it checked out, shouldn't I? But in saying this, the weight training might help it. So if I'm back to gym next week.
So weight training's on there. Might.
Yes. It might. Weight training, check it out. Maybe stretching.
So maybe weight training, maybe stretching, maybe going for a longer walk.
Yes.
Right. Maybe seeing a specialist to find out what's wrong with it.
Yes.
Which of those things is going to give you the most movement forward with all of that?
Probably a specialist.
Okay.
Seeking help.
So that's
asking for advice.
So if that's the one thing that's going to maybe that could bring all of those things into place, because what if the injury impacts your weight training? How would you feel then?
It would just delay my progress, wouldn't it?
Would it affect you?
I'd be frustrated. Yes.
And could that lead to other things?
Yes, because then I'd be frustrated just in general.
So, solution is
go see someone.
Okay. So he's put in that. So now we know this. That's the solution. What's the key steps to making that happen?
Just call them.
Who can you call?
A specialist. Ghostbusters.
Yeah, but which specialist?
I'm gonna go on Google.
Okay. What else are you gonna do?
I'm gonna call them.
When you go on Google, what else are you gonna do? You're gonna read some reviews?
Yeah. Or location and see which ones are good.
Yeah. And then you might ask friends for a recommendation. These are now the next levels of the solution.
Yeah.
So what can you do today to make that happen?
Research.
And are you going to do it? Are you going to commit to that?
Well, I have to now because you said it.
Yeah.
I should though. No,
I've not got the gun to your head, Danny.
It's what, but you talk a lot of sense. I feel like I have to now. I feel like you're invested in this. So.
If I might invest, definitely one thing about coaching is if I'm more invested in you than you are in yourself, we got a problem.
I don't care about my leg, do I?
And if Danny, that means that we just get the chainsaw and we chop it off, then that's what's going to happen. We might start with just taking a little bit off, but just to check
see.
it's not everything. Okay.
I get you. There are steps. There are steps to solutions. Oh, hang on.
Who is this? It's like the knock at the door. There was a TV program that was like, I'm sure. Anyway, we digress. You've just been coached, Danny.
I know. I feel like I've been schooled.
Unintentionally, but I just went with it.
You just shut me up there.
But yeah, everybody wants hold of me. I thought I just turned it to silent as well. I have. It is on silent. Must be urgent. But you know, that's the sometimes the work you can do just by seeking the solutions or using a coach. Sometimes that can help. Plug. No, that's not what it. You know, but it's. You know, we know the answers, and if we ask the right questions, then we can
find the solution.
And it is sometimes about asking good questions.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that when I was seeking some solutions, you know, my first part of my reflection for the end of this month is to put in mindfulness, because it's something that I've stopped doing and not really brought into my life for a while, because I've always still perceived that it's something I reach to when I'm trying to fix something rather than trying to prevent something.
Yeah, it's often when we're in dire straits.
Yeah, and it's also something that I put in place as a long thing, so it's like 15 or 20 minutes. But I remembered the other day that actually 1 or 2 minutes can still be periods of mindfulness, and it can be brought into many areas of my life. So
yeah,
hopefully, Danny, I'm just aware of the time. This has been a very long one.
Hey, but worth it. I got a coaching lesson in there, got some truth bombs, got some good pointers, so well worth it.
And I feel that I spoke a lot.
Yeah, because you are the master. You're the host. I didn't have much to say in there. You kind of just said everything I wanted to say too. So I just went with it.
Not self. Danny's taking over tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Talk Shit Sunday, so that's
it
when
is
I'm
Talk
there.
Shit Sunday tomorrow. Bring your best shit for us to talk about. Your very best, only your finest shit, Danny.
Please, top of a tier.
On that note, happy Saturday, and we'll speak to you on tomorrow.
Bye.
Adios.